Welcome to the Board of Education study session. My name is John Dignan and I'm the superintendent of Wayne-Westland Community Schools. This is a pre-recorded presentation and has been voiced over to give you a solid overview of the possible scenarios of how we might return to school. We will play the presentation and field questions at the end of it. Please feel free to take notes, and then at the conclusion of the presentation we will have an open discussion regarding some of the questions from the presentation or possible scenarios. Slide 2 is a return to school roadmap. On June 30th, Governor Gretchen Whitmer released the Michigan Safe School Return to School Roadmap, a 63-page document with comprehensive guidance to help local school districts create plans for in-person learning this fall. Additionally, Governor Whitmer announced the signing of Executive Order 2020/142, which provides guidance on developing preparedness plans. Executive Order 2020-142 requires school districts to adopt a COVID-19 preparedness and response plan, laying out how school districts will protect students and educators across the various phases of the Michigan Safe Start Plan. The Michigan Safe Schools Return to School Roadmap offers guidelines to the types of safety protocols that will be required or recommended at each phase. The safety protocols detailed in the Michigan Safe Schools Roadmap includes guidance on the use of PPE, good hygiene, cleaning, disinfecting, spacing in classrooms, screening for symptoms, athletics, and more. The roadmap also recognizes the impact COVID-19 has had on students and educators' mental health and offers guidance on how schools can address these issues. We are working in conjunction with the guiding regulatory agencies, including the Wayne County Community Health Department, State of Michigan executive orders, and the Centers of Disease Control. Wayne has provided support as needed and serves as a facilitator between us and these agencies. Slide 3 deals with the reopening committees: transportation, food service, technology, curriculum and instruction, special education, safety and operations, communications, and child care. Our Return to Learn District Committee has been meeting weekly since the pandemic began and continue to work through the release of the Michigan Return to School Roadmap on June 30th. Members of this Return to Learn Committee have created the subcommittees that you see here on the screen. Each of these committees have been planning for return to school scenarios. Please know that the safety of our students and staff is the #1 priority for all these committees. Slide 4 is the Return to Learn plan. We have 3 scenarios for our staff and students to return to school in the fall. These scenarios are face-to-face instruction, which you can see in Plan 1 in the green, a hybrid model, which is Plan 2 in kind of an orange-yellow color, which includes some face-to-face instruction and virtual learning, and then Plan 3, which is virtual instruction, which is red. Again, the idea behind this is it constitutes kind of a stoplight. Again, the only thing that is dictated we must do is if we're in phases 1 through 3, we have to be remote or online learning. Slide 5, Plan 1, face-to-face instruction. Just to give a little background, this could be used in phases 4, 5, or 6, determined by a local school district. Buildings are allowed to reopen at full capacity. Students attending school on campus, preventive hygiene policies and physical distancing guidelines, enhanced daily cleaning measures and protocols, remote learning options available to students who need it, social, emotional support available, transportation available, breakfast and lunch available K through 12, IEP and 504 programs and services provided as outlined in the student's plan. Face-to-face instruction includes students coming to school 5 days a week while implementing the required safety protocols listed in the Michigan's 2020-21 Return to School Roadmap. This includes face coverings, social distancing when able, specific hygiene requirements and recommendations, and I will speak more to these items throughout the presentation. Slide 6 Plan 2, hybrid instruction. This model has students both in school and out of school during a school week. Buildings allowed to reopen at partial capacity, combination of face-to-face as well as remote learning. Optimizes limited in-person instruction with remote learning. Access to remote instruction and resources ensured for all. Staggered schedules to limit student exposure. Social emotional support available. Enhanced cleaning measures with deep cleaning once a week. Transportation available. Food service K-12. IEP goals are addressed in person as well as remotely. This model gives staff and students time to build up to full face-to-face instruction. Students would attend schools 2 days a week, and all our teachers would provide instruction based on priority standards and share different remote learning expectations and opportunities. This could mean homework that is given to students during that week that they would finish when they were not in school. Slide 7 gives a sample of elementary hybrid schedule. For instance, Cohort A could include students with the last names A through K, and Cohort B would include students with the last names L through Z. Cohort A would come to school on Monday and Tuesday, again with last names A through K. Wednesday would result teachers being only on site, possibly, or remotely, with student interventions, student independent studies, and teacher office hours. Cohort B would report to school on Thursday and Friday with the last names L through Z. Again, this is just a sample example of a possible hybrid schedule. As you can see, it lists the start times, 30-minute lunch, and the end times of school. The lunch schedule, the recess schedule, and special schedule to be determined by building. The Monday, Tuesday, Cohort B would be completing assignments and remote learning. Thursday and Friday, Cohort A is completing assignments, remote learning. I'm going to go through the schedule one more time. So, Cohort A would attend school in person Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, everybody's off for a deep cleaning. Thursday, Cohort A would be accessing their education remotely at home. The same thing for Friday, Cohort A would be accessing their education at home. This is a sample of an elementary hybrid schedule. Again, all students would be divided based on their last name. One group would be made up of alphabet A through K, will attend schools on Monday and Tuesday, and L and Z would attend on Thursday and Friday. For example, if your child attends school Monday and Tuesday, his or her teacher will give them the rest of the work for the week and also be available on Wednesday for independent studies, intervention, and office hours. All of our teachers will provide instruction based on the priority standards, ensure remote learning when students are at home. This is our expectation. If students in one household have a different last name, all students will attend the school based on the last name of the oldest child. Again, if a student in one household has a different last name, all students will attend school based on the schedule of the last name of the oldest child. Slide 8 gives an example of a middle school hybrid schedule. Again, we would break students in two cohorts. One cohort would be Cohort A, which would include students with the last names alphabet A through K, and a Cohort B, which would include students with the last names L through Z. Just to give you a quick synopsis of how this works, again, this is just a sample schedule. All students would be divided based on their last name. Alphabet A through K will attend school on Monday and Tuesday, and then L through Z would attend Thursday and Friday. If students in one household have a different last name, all students will attend the school based on the last name of the oldest child. With this being said, as we start to finalize details and stuff, there will be other information added to these schedules, like times that students would hand wash and things of that nature. Slide 9 is an example of a high school hybrid schedule. Again, Cohort A would include students with last name A through K. Cohort B would include students with the last name L through Z. We would try to balance the percentage the best we could to balance the schedule. Monday and Tuesday, Cohort A would attend school. We would have a block schedule format. So on Monday, again, Cohort A, last names starting with A through K, would have first, second, and third hour. Tuesday, Cohort A would have hours 4, 5, and 6. As you can see, they're in a block schedule format. The reason being for this is to cut down on possible transitions throughout the high school. Wednesday would be a deep cleaning. We would not have students attend that day. Thursday, Cohort B would come to school, last name L through Z. Again, on Thursday, they would be in a block schedule, first, second, and third hour. Then on Friday, Cohort B again would attend fourth, fifth, and sixth hour. The reason for this scheduling is to cut down on transition times. Again, this is a sample high school hybrid schedules. So all students would be divided based on their last name. A through K will attend school on Monday and Tuesday, and L through Z would attend school on Thursday and Friday, with Wednesday being off for everybody for a deep clean. If students in one household have a different last name, all students will attend schools based on the last name of the oldest child. Virtual instruction. This is full 5 days per week virtual learning. This model would be taught by Wayne-Westland community school teachers utilizing Wayne-Westland community school curriculum. We will have a plan in place to distribute student materials and technologies if we began the year with virtual learning. We would also set up hotspots on our buses and have them go out to the same areas as our literacy buses did this summer to ensure connectivity during school hours. Slide 11 gives a visual of elementary virtual schedule. Again, this is just a sample schedule and to give people a visual depiction of what it might look like. Again, for instance, on looking at Monday from 8:30 to 9, there would be a morning meeting or a sunshine call for a check-in for our students. From 9 to 10:30 could be some kind of activity through English language arts. 10:30 to 11:30 would be math. 11:30 to 12:20 would be lunch and recess. And then 12:20 to 1 o'clock would be science or social studies. 1 to 3:20 would be our specials, student independent work, time, and interventions. Again, this is a sample of an elementary virtual schedule. Core academic blocks of time may include live lessons, live small groups, independent work time for students. Length of the live lessons will be determined by grade level based on recommended lengths of lessons. Again, we might cut down the instructional times in these frames according to best practice. The middle school and high school teaching staff is meeting prior to this video, and again, they're working on virtual schedules, and we will provide those as soon as they complete them, and we will hope to have those out very soon. The next slide is the Wayne-Westland Online Learning K-12. As you've previously seen, we are looking at 3 different return to school models taught by Wayne-Westland community teachers. This includes face-to-face, hybrid, and virtual learning. This program is an additional option for our families. Wayne-Westland Online Learning K-12, you see often, is formerly known as the Great Futures Online program. We've offered this program for several years. We've added this year K-8 to the program. Before we were 9, 12, we've added K-8 for this coming school year. We are accepting applications which are due August 17th, and the program is run through Ingenuity, facilitated by a Wayne-Westland mentor teacher. Those who have applied will receive a phone call the week of August 10th after the board meeting to see if they're still interested in the program. We recognize that some families may change their mind once they know what the school will look like in the fall. Those that are still interested in the program will be notified the week of August 17th if they've been accepted to the program. Safety and operations. Face coverings will be required for all staff and students in elementary, middle, high school, and post-secondary school programs unless the individual has a medical-based exception with a doctor's note. We will provide PPE, personal protective equipment, for all district employees. Only essential visitors will be allowed into the school. The district has developed draft plans for all other required areas in the roadmap, including extracurricular activities, communication, transportation, and for any time we are in an in-person learning environment. All district facilities have been inspected to determine the readiness for reopening by performing a risk assessment. District custodians have been trained to clean and sanitize all frequently high-touched and hard surface areas. The district will comply with all state, county health safety requirements. As required by the roadmap, the district Return to Learn Committee has been engaged in detailed planning for the health and hygiene measures that will be required if or when our students return to face-to-face instruction. Planning for building and program cleanliness has been a key part of the work of the Return to Learn Committee. We want to make sure that there is no compromise in the effort put forth for the daily cleanliness of our schools and to best protect the health of our students and our staff. Some of the health and safety protocols in phase 4 include required face coverings, provide soap, sanitizer, paper towels, hand washing signs, sanitizing stations, strongly recommended, space desks 6 feet apart when possible, arrange desks all facing in the same direction, post signage indicating proper social distancing, floor tape used at 6 feet intervals where the line formation is anticipated, provide social distancing, seating markings in waiting and reception areas. Recommended, specials should be brought to classrooms instead of moving students to different locations. Entrances and exits should be kept separate. Families' responsibilities strongly recommend parents or guardians should check their child's temperature at home each morning. Students with temperatures above 100.4 will be required to stay home until the child is fever-free for 24 hours, and the parent may consider COVID-19 testing if symptoms are present. If a child has symptoms of COVID-19, cough, shortness of breath, but no fever, the child should be kept home from school and follow up with the primary care provider. All parents or guardians entering a building should wash or sanitize his or her hands immediately upon arrival. Parents of guardians are responsible for providing facial coverings for their children. Designated entry and exit areas will be established in each building to keep traffic moving in a single direction. We need our families to support us with our return to school plan. If or when we return to face-to-face instruction, this includes checking your child's temperature, being aware of any symptoms of COVID-19, and providing facial coverings for your child. We recently had a PPE donation. Part of the reason that we pushed that out was to get more PPE for our family resource centers throughout our district. That way we can help our community with hand sanitizer as well as masks and things of that nature. So far we've had a great response. We have had $24,000 donated through our efforts so far, and we greatly appreciate our community for jumping aboard and helping us, so thank you. We've captured our timeline for right now from our August 3rd board study session all the way through August 10th, where our Board of Education we'll take a recommendation from the superintendent of a final plan for discussion and approval. August 11th, we will have district meetings. August 12th, a community meeting, and then August 17th, our return to learn plans due to the Wayne RESA, which will in turn send it to the Michigan Department of Education. We're under a pretty aggressive timeline. We know how important it is for our community to plan for what the fall will look like, both for our staff, families, and students. So again, we want to get this out as soon as we can. Tonight's session is basically framed to talk about the three models and answer questions that the board may have. Again, on August 10th, we will submit the superintendent's recommendation for what school looks like in the fall. The board will vote, and then we will move from there. Again, we hope to have this final decision next week, August 10th, at the board meeting, and then we will proceed with the schedule as you can see on the slide. Again, I highly suggest people within the school community look at our recently constructed Return to Learn webpage. On there, all questions that are submitted and included will be part of our FAQ document, again found on our Return to Learn webpage, and it will be shared on the website and emailed to staff and families. We plan to continue our surveys each week. Again, our surveys will take 2 to 3 minutes and only have 4 to 6 questions so we can get a quick response and perception data. Again, this is a community effort as we make this huge decision on what direction that Wayne-Westland Community Schools will be heading in. Again, if you didn't get a chance to submit your question, please feel free to email it to info@wwcsd.net. We thank you again for everybody's commitment to our kids, to our community, and to our school district.